commonly worn by a working American woman in the 1800s. She's wearing an apron so that when she's doing her laundry or she's cleaning around the house, she does not get her dress dirty. It as well has a large skirt, which almost all dresses did at that time. It has this wonderful hat that shaded their women's eyes so that the sun wouldn't be directly on them. This dress possibly might have been from China because it is made of silk, and that is where they got some of their silk from.
This is a dress that would generally be worn by American women in the 19th century or in the 1800s. As you can see, it's got a very full skirt, and that was something that a lot of dresses had in that time. The lace was very common in the 19th century rather than in the 18th century or in the 1700s, so that's something that really changed. This style was brought over by English women and by many Europeans, so that's very important. This hat, beautiful hat, it's got the nice feathers. This is a hat that the woman would wear to church or around town with this dress. And this dress would generally be worn in the afternoon, not in the morning or night. And it's got the silk ribbon on the side, Yep. This is a dress that would be commonly worn by women when they were going out in the evening, maybe to eat or to go to a show or different things like that. You can see here it's got a lot more detail, like the embroidery and the beads. The skirt is a lot more straight. It's not quite as puffy as the other skirts were, or as full. One of the other things, or two of the other things that make the dress more for evening rather than during the afternoon or in the morning would be the sleeve length, which is a lot shorter than the other two, and also the lower neckline, because women at that time of day were allowed to show more skin. Within boundaries, but so yeah. Also, the hat was probably rabbit fur, and it probably came from Canada. Also, the oval shape of the hat was more common for women at night because it was a little fancier, and so, yeah. Also, the embroidery that was here on the dress probably originated from France because it was a lot fancier and everything like that.
Okay, so this was another common afternoon dress worn by a woman in the 1800s in America. It has a full skirt, like many others at the time, and was worn with a petticoat to keep them warmer. These ruffles and buttons here were made as decoration to make the dress look a little more fancy.
This is a petticoat. It's a stiffer petticoat rather than normal ones you see that are puffier. This one's stiffer and it holds its shape better, so that's one of the main reasons that women would generally wear those, as well as the puffy ones. You also have a short cape here, and it's made to keep women warm over their dresses.
And then here, this white part here is it's called a long petticoat, which is pretty much like a dress. It could also be worn as a nightgown, and also during the day when the woman was doing her work, she could wear it with an apron. This is a shawl that was usually knit by the woman to keep her warm during the winter. It was usually long like this so that it would cover them.
Corsets were lace-up undergarments that were made out of metal or whalebone covered in fabric. It made a woman's shape an hourglass figure.
Though it made this figure, it caused medical problems, one of which was that it squeezed the liver and stomach together. It also caused many problems during childbirth.
This is something a man would wear during the 19th century. A wealthier man would wear this outfit with the extra pieces of clothing like the vest, the necktie, and the wig. Wealthier men would wear this because it cost more money, and normally poor men couldn't afford the extra pieces of clothing. The style originated from England because, as you can see, these sleeves are puffier, and the vest has an English style. So the reason men wore wigs was because during the 19th century there was a big epidemic of lice, and if a man got lice, they would just shave their head, or before they got lice, they'd shave their head to just avoid the problem all. So a lot of wealthier men with shaved heads could afford to pay for the wigs, so that's why wealthier men wore wigs. Also, they wore neckties because it made the casual wear that Jeremy is wearing now fancier, and the vest as well. If a poor man were to wear this, it would probably be only this stuff because they weren't able to afford the extra vest, wig, and tie. So the poor men also, well, all the men would wear breeches, and those were pants that went to the knees, and they were really puffy, and they had stockings that came up to their calves or about there, and the breeches came over them.
Okay, so this is a fancier outfit that a man would wear out for a show or out to dinner. They once again have the wig to cover their head if it was shaved. They also have the necktie to make it more fancy. They also, if it was colder in the winter, they could wear a plain suit jacket to keep them warm, or during the summer, they could take it off and just wear the nice silk and wool vest with a collared shirt. They also wore, once again, the breeches and the stockings, as they did with anythings. And for shoes, they would wear things called brogans, which were pretty much boots, like ankle boots that had buckles and could be worn on either foot. They didn't really have a specific size.